Hey, you can get some cool and fun rewards for helping me help kids. Stick around after the video for more information. Well, my editing skills are crap, but can the same thing be said about Evil Eye from Amazon Studios? Stick around and find out. I don't know. I didn't have an actual song. Hi, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of Evil Eye from Amazon Prime. The synopsis on IMDb reads, "A curse from the past reawakens in the present to torment a family in Evil Eye, a stylish suspense thriller with a supernatural edge. From her home in Delhi, India, proud parent Usha Khatri is overjoyed when her daughter Pallavi calls from New Orleans with news that she has met someone special. But Usha's happiness turns to fear when she notices strange similarities between Pallavi's wealthy boyfriend Sandeep and a frightening figure from her own past. Although her suspicions are dismissed by family and friends, the more Usha, actually friends and family it says, I gotta be accurate there. The more Usha learns about this new man in her daughter's life, the more certain she becomes that an evil force from 30 years earlier has returned with a vengeance. When Pallavi announces her engagement to Sandeep, Usha is forced to confront a terrifying question. How do you protect the ones you love when the thing you fear most won't stay dead? All right, you can pick up a lot of that from the trailer. That's a more lengthy description than I'll sometimes share in these reviews, but I don't think it's spoilery. You can pick up about that much from the trailer. This is a suspense drama with a light supernatural elements. I could have gone with it having more overt supernatural elements. They are pretty light, to the point where I was wondering, is this movie actually ever going to get supernatural, or, you know, what's going on here? It has a similar feel to some supernatural suspense movies that we've seen a million times before that are usually based in Catholic superstitions or some weird form of Christianity that they're taking inspiration from. But instead, in this movie, it's got an overlay of Eastern Indian religious beliefs like karma and reincarnation. It's largely, though, a movie about this strained relationship between a mother and her daughter, as the mother wants to protect her daughter from experiencing the same kind of dangerously abusive relationship that she had when she was younger, but because she's been so overbearing and maybe not trusting of her daughter, that's caused a friction and a lack of desire on her daughter's part to listen to her and to give weight to her words. And so it deals with, at the center, and for most of the movie, with a very common relationship struggle in families as children grow up and move out and become their own adults. And then there's still that relationship with the parents where the parents still want to speak into their lives. Maybe the parents, still want to control their lives. But the child is wanting to have more independence and to be respected as an adult, by their parents. And so it's interesting because of the complexities of that are represented. The mom is overbearing and she makes some bad choices, but could she maybe be right about some things in this situation? The daughter understandably wants freedom and to be respected as an adult by her mother, but she's also maybe making some unwise choices in this relationship that she's pursuing. And so I love kind of the messiness of that, and how, as a viewer, I think we are called to look at those relationships and parse out the right from the wrong, the good from the bad, and maybe reflect on our own relationships with our families. As far as the cast goes, new faces to me. Well, the mother looks familiar, but she's not I don't think I've seen her in a movie. I've just probably seen her in a trailer for some movie I've never watched. But the one guy that looks familiar is the Matrix guy. He plays the program that Neo interacts with in the third Matrix movie, where he's like trying to get his daughter out and of the Matrix, and they meet in the subway and stuff. You know the guy I'm talking about. He's the guy that went and got help from the Merovingian. Anyway, he plays Pallavi's dad in in this story, and Usha's husband, and he was really. I mean, all of them I thought were solid for the most part. I will say that now and then the actress playing Pallavi felt artificial to me, but it was inconsistent. There were many times, most of the time, where I was just totally with her and with the performance she was giving and connecting with it, and then every now and then there'd be a delivery that I'm like, that doesn't read as genuine to me. The Matrix guy, dang it, I don't know his name. Very likable. And very patient as a husband and father in this situation. The actress playing the mother felt very fitting, and she straddled for me really well, being both sympathetic and relatably overbearing. If you have relationships, if you have parents that can sometimes be now and then overbearing, I think all of us do at one time or another, as we're making that transition into independent adulthood, So I felt like she represented that reality really well. The actor playing Sandeep, the boyfriend, was great at being both warmly charismatic and forebodingly mysterious, and so I really don't have a lot of complaints except for those inconsistencies now and then with the daughter. As far as the visuals, there's no real visual effects to speak of. The supernatural in this movie again is very subtle, very low key, and it's represented through stylized editing and symbolic mental imagery. So you're not seeing like weird spirits and floating around and stuff like that. I would have liked, in addition to it leaning into the supernatural more, I would have liked the visual style to be a little bit more pronounced. And I think that could have enhanced the mood and enhanced the suspense if they would have taken the time to do some more interesting camera positioning and stuff. It felt, as it was, more modern TV quality. Well, cinematically speaking, actually, a lot of premium streaming shows will put more thought and style into the camera angles and stuff than this movie did. So maybe it's even falls short of modern TV a little bit in that regard. But I do wish it was visually a little bit more cinematic in its stylistic choices and how it was shot. As far as like themes, is there anything of moral, philosophical, or spiritual significance going on in this thing that might trigger some worthwhile thought or conversation? Yes. Not for the reasons that you might think. I mean, obviously, I don't agree with or affirm concepts like karma and reincarnation, but, movies of this type, these kind of supernatural suspense, drama type things that usually pull from Christian tradition have nearly as many unbiblical ideas and superstition taking priority over actual biblical teaching. So, but the movie thematically affirms the value of a more conservative advancement in the dating relationship and in the courtship relationship. It affirms even waiting to move in together until marriage. I think arguably that's being validated in this movie and being called something that would be wise. I think that you could come away from this movie and rightly take with you as kind of like morals of the story, maybe don't move in together before you get married with someone. Maybe don't sleep with someone you don't already know, love, and trust incredibly well. Now, of course, I would add to that marriage is the intention before we are sleeping and entering into the sexual relationship. But I still have to tip my hat to this movie for going as far as it does in valuing a more cautious, conservative, and thoughtful approach to relationships and to advancing romantic relationships. Another takeaway could be, maybe try to keep an ear out for those nuggets of truth that your parents still have for you as an adult, even though that often means sifting through a dump truck of unreasonable opinions and behaviors on their part. And that's difficult, I know, but I think that I come away from this movie feeling like, I could do a better job of that, of listening and trying to sift through the stuff that I totally disagree with that my parents might say, to hang on to those nuggets that are in there that are still valuable for me. The movie ultimately validates a more conservative and cautious approach to dating, and also upholds the value of fighting for a good relationship between grown children and their parents, even though those relationships can often be strained. And I think that that's a really great message, a really great takeaway. So, very, very pleased with that. Now, I have no idea what your tastes are in movies, but if I were a time traveler, I'd go back in time and say, Peter, this isn't one you need to seek out at all just for your own viewing enjoyment. It doesn't have enough of what you really want in a supernatural suspense drama to make it worth you sitting down and giving, an hour and a half to this. But this could be a good halfway point, something that you would enjoy watching with your wife, Holly. It's not so weird and supernatural that she's going to be freaked out and creeped out by it or unable to get into it and relate to it. She's going to appreciate those down-to-earth plot elements just as you will, while you also appreciate the added subtle supernatural suspense. So maybe a possible candidate for an at-home date night. It's rated 16 plus on Amazon, whatever the crap that means. I would describe it as being kind of like a PG-13 movie. It's got a couple of F-bombs, I think just 2 that are right back-to-back in one scene, and otherwise PG or PG-13 type violence and thematic elements, all of which I would, even expect to see on late night or evening primetime. There we go, primetime network television. Although, does that even exist anymore? I don't know. All right, those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell to stay connected. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for their continued support of me and all the work that I'm doing. You can get info about the benefits of becoming an insider at patreon.com/Spirit Blade Productions. And then, of course, I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. For my 7th consecutive year, I'm participating in Extra Life, a charity event that raises funds to provide medical care for children in urgent need. I'm also leading the Christian Geek Central Extra Life team, which you're still welcome to join by following the link in the description below. Once again this year, I'm drawing attention to our team's fundraising by performing a 24-hour marathon of video gaming that I will stream live on youtube.com/ChristianGeekCentral and ChristianGeekCentral.com beginning 5 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, November 7th. You can donate on my page or any team member's page by following the links below, where you will also find incentives and rewards for doing so. On my page, for example, for a donation of $5, you can choose a topic to add to my +3 page of many topics that I'll be blabbing my opinions on during the live stream. For $10, you get the previous reward and a download code for a free copy of the Spirit Blade Special Edition audio drama. For $20, you get the previous rewards and you can choose a game for me to play during my November 7th live stream. Pick a favorite or torture me with something terrible or rage-inducingly difficult. For $30, you get the previous rewards and you can choose a song for me to sing during my November 7th live stream. Pick an old favorite of yours or just make me humiliate and torture myself with something nobody wants to hear. And for $50 or more, you get the previous rewards and a download code for every MP3 product at SpiritBlade.com. That's an $80 value. On top of that, I have set fundraising milestones that will unlock strange and unusual happenings as I reach them. At $200, I'll have a free download day for everyone who visits SpiritBlade.com on November 11th. And as my total goes beyond $200, I'll unlock increasingly more content for the free download day. And depending how far beyond $200 my fundraising goes, during my November 7th live stream, I will show embarrassing clips of a movie I made in college with fellow Spirit Blade actor Michael Tully, put on a pair of Frozen socks and a Frozen t-shirt at the same time, shoot water up my nose with a turkey baster, and have my wife Holly play a video game with me for 30 minutes. And if I reach a personal fundraising total of $500 or more, I will face my greatest and most hated enemy in video gaming. I will finally beat Super Mario Bros. Without using cheat codes by the end of 2020, publishing video of my efforts and eventual success, and also make my first attempts during my Extra Life marathon. I freaking hate that game, but I will do this for those kids and their families and for you sadistic people who donate money to make it happen. Now, there are some stipulations and time limits on those rewards and milestones, so quickly follow the link below to my fundraising page for all the details. I hope you will be a part of helping me and the Christian Geek Central team do some good for some kids and families who really need it. And then I hope you'll join me at youtube.com/ChristianGeekCentral for my 24-hour video gaming marathon starting 5 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, November 7th. Hope to see you then.